We are live.
And we are live Wednesday night with those guys. And Wednesday night with those guys is sponsored by
those guys. I just got the alert.
So how you guys doing this evening?
The alert in the background. What's up? Here it is. And I just heard it in my ear to my phone at the same time. That's timing.
How you guys doing?
But it's strange because some guys that listen to the live stream way over in Scotland and in Ireland, Joe Mack and those guys, they get the alert instantaneously. And I know some people here in the United States, in Arizona, that get the alert maybe 10, 15 minutes to an hour after we've started the live stream. So Yuba, get your shit together.
Yeah, I was looking for you guys at 3 a.m. the other day, but
Paul, what's up, Elliot? How are you? Paul,
hey, Elliot, what's good, man?
You know what it is? Now that I don't have to get up so early to wake my wife and daughter up, I'm actually sleeping later. I'm actually sleeping later. So now I don't get up at 3, 4 in the morning except to go pay the water bill and go back to bed.
Wow. Well, usually at 3 o'clock, if I'm awake at 3 o'clock, it's because I was going to bed.
All right, hold on. Here's a text here.
Who's it? Jasmine, Elliot, what's up, man? Lynn. Oh, wait a minute.
How are you, Elliot? Rob, what's going on?
Rob, Rojo.
He got his Mavic Air 2 today, Rojo.
Okay.
Oh, he did.
People getting the man.
Yes, he did. He did.
Ray's probably got his.
Mine is winging its way here. It's in Detroit now.
Get your bird yet? Where'd he go? Oh.
Who?
Well, Ray was here a minute ago.
Ray was there for a second.
He was, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. Maybe it was either he's on his way home from work. It is 5 o'clock.
Oh, looked like he was in. Let's see, he's coming back.
Okay.
No, Lynn, I didn't get mine supposedly tomorrow.
Hey, Robert, I sent you an invite, man. Okay, let's go back to the chat room. So what's up, everyone? Welcome to Wednesday Nights with those guys. Michael Blade is out of Facebook jail, everyone. Celebrate, rejoice. He can communicate with us once again. What's up, Ray?
What's up,
fellas? What's up, guys?
So you get your bird yet, man?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't see no pictures, man. What happened?
That's a secret, bro. It's a secret. All you're gonna see is night footage. That's all you're gonna see out of that bird is night footage.
Hey, Cherise, Molzak.
Molzak.
I'm here. I've never seen you, but welcome here to Wednesday Nights with those guys.
Hey, what's up?
While it's early, click the like button so you don't have to do it later on. We appreciate that. There's a few things going on in the world today. First, I'd like to ask everyone, have you seen Original Dobo's video, Ken Dono's video, and about crashing the Mavic Air 2? And if not, I'll put a link for it. I suggest you go check it out. I'd like to give him kudos for coming out with that video and admitting that it was his error, that he knew it was him that caused the Mavic Air 2 to have the issue that it did. I'm not going to say what happened, but he crashed it, and in the video he goes into detail, and it takes a lot for a real creator, YouTube creator, to admit that, hey, I effed up, you know. I know some other people on some other channels that would have just hid that fact that they crashed and said it dropped out of the sky or something like that. But check out his video. Hey, Adrian Lee, how much am we paying you to click the like button? Hey, you're supporting our salaries by clicking that like button.
Click the like button first.
We're trying to get Herman monetized.
Click the like button first and we'll let you know.
Right. Global Drones, how are you?
Hey, Hadley, what's
I
good,
just
bro?
have to say, What's up, Hadley? How are you? I just have to say, Ken Dono, original Dobo, however you know him, kudos to you for keeping it real. A lot of people don't like him because he keeps it real, and that actually is what makes him the character that he is and the creator that he is. So I just want to say kudos to him, and that's it. Very good video. Now I'll find a link. No such person on YouTube.
Hello,
Oh,
Sean.
gotcha. That's
Who?
okay. Let me see if I can actually find the video, and I'll post the link in case you haven't seen it. But if you don't have him supported, you should support his channel, just like you support everyone else's here.
Yeah, he went in detail to tell us how he screwed up. I thought that was good of him.
Yeah, I left him a comment on.
You put the link at Al in the chat.
I'm getting ready to right now. I'm going to his page right now.
You know,
Put it in a private chat, the Zoom chat.
Hey,
No,
Ray,
I'm gonna
your,
put it.
your camera's
I'm going to
off.
put
Ray.
it so everybody can see it.
Paul?
Ray, your camera's off.
you know,
I hear you.
saying your camera's off.
It's off?
Yeah.
I'm actually putting it in the chat. So if you have
Ray's camera is showing on the stream actually. but
Nah.
not-
if you have
Now
not
Now it
seen
is here. Okay.
If you have not seen it, Ken Dobo did really good on explaining why he crashed his Mavic Air 2. And all I can say is you learn this when you're studying for the 107. And there's 5 reasons when you're studying for the 107 why sometimes it's not good to fly. And he gave one of those reasons. But you have to watch the video. He explains in detail what he did. And kudos for manning up and saying, yo, I effed up. I should have did this instead of that. And that's why it crashed. Like
Yep.
I said, there's a lot of clickbait channels and channels on here that would have never shown or explained why they messed up their bird. That's all I'm saying. That's
Yep.
it. I'm quiet for now.
Yeah.
Sean, anything new over across the pond?
Today was our first day that we're allowed out to fly our drones, as in we're allowed to travel for non-essential terms, which also essentially meant that hobbyists can now fly our drones for the first time.
Okay.
So that's exciting. It's very exciting.
Did you
mean
fly?
Today was the first day you guys were allowed to fly your drones without being threatened to be tased or beat upon with the billy club.
Exactly. So there are there were some very interesting photographs coming in from my flying club, showing the grass up to here, and everyone out there with their streamers trimming it down, desperate to get in the air. So
Hey, right.
Okay. All right. Well, see, that's not. I'm glad you got to fly, first of all. And Herman actually sent me.
What
Oh,
happened?
wait a minute. That's a Ubatuba video. He sent me a link, which I thought was actually interesting. I can't show it, but it shows the new CAA advertisement for you guys on what you're supposed to do in a procedure. All I can say is click this link and save it for watch later. But they did a very good job on introducing. They showed everything from the guy getting his drone. It was a cartoon, by the way. They show everything from the guy getting his drone, and the drone says, "Hold on, before we fly, you got to register," and all this stuff. It was actually kind
Little
of cute.
cartoon?
Yeah, it was
Yeah, I thought
the one that you sent me.
Yeah, I thought that was a little interesting because
It was, and it was a very creative way to say this is the way we're
oh yeah,
flying
that's
now.
that's the
in the
that's
UK.
the EASA video actually.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
That's European, not English.
Okay, I'm sorry. All right.
No, that's okay. That's okay. But yeah, we are under them, but we don't adopt their rules now till November at the earliest.
Okay.
well, that's one of the things I wanted to ask you about too tonight.
Hey, Roger.
There was a couple of things that I saw that had come up, and I was a little because I saw that how they said was it November they were talking about instead of it happening in July or whatever it was.
Oh, thanks,
You
Hadley.
were supposed to adopt their rules.
Yeah,
But,
I mean we're under EASA anyway. It's just
Yeah.
adopting the new drone rules.
Okay.
It's just mainly because of COVID-19. Because remember as well that we are coming out of the EU completely under Brexit
Right.
at the at the end of the year. So it's going to be debatable as to whether we end up adopting them or not, but we're certainly going to end up mirroring them. So we'll have very similar regulations, if not precisely the same ones.
Okay, because I was watching a video and I saw another video, and the thing that would confuse me
AZ.
was that the whole the maximum takeoff weight thing, and the Mini came up a couple of times, and then there was another guy who did a video. I'm trying to remember the guy that did the video, but he was talking about the Mini, and now you would have to register the Mini under these new.
Yep, there's a video on my channel confirming that. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's not necessarily to do with the weight, because in actual fact, in the UK, they are going to be using the flight, the weight at flight rather than maximum takeoff mass. But it's actually the camera, because it has a complex camera. It will have to be registered in the UK no matter what the weight. Even if you were, even if they were to bring out, even if you were to get hold of the Japanese battery and put that in, so then it's 199 grams, you will still have to register it because of the camera, basically. It's the first time the British CAA will be enforcing a privacy law, and they're not very happy about it.
Okay, because I was looking at some of those things that they were talking about, the new things that they were proposing, like how there was supposedly no one has to have any qualifications to be able to fly professionally.
Yeah, well, it's changing from being a commercial permission for operation to risk assessment. So, for instance, the exam that I was telling you I took about a month ago now, which gave me the A2 CFC, will allow me to fly up to 5 meters of people with the right aircraft.
Okay,
but yeah, I mean, you can fly for money once the regulations are in. Of course, you can fly for money, whoever you are. But of course, if you don't have any qualifications, you'll only be able to get within 150 meters of uninvolved people. So you won't be able to get much, and you will still in the UK have to be insured. And without the qualifications, it's touch and go whether you get that insurance.
Okay, you just killed all my questions I was going to ask you.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I'll rewind that. I didn't say. Sorry, I should piecemeal these things out. I apologize. But they're exciting because, which is why I took that exam. Thanks to UAV Hub that paid for it. It's exciting because as a hobbyist, I'm going to be able to fly within 5 meters of uninvolved people once those aircraft are out. Yeah. With legacy aircraft, I can get within 50 meters. And I can do it for money. There's no question of, oh, are you doing this? Are you doing that? It's another small way where it's actually benefiting the hobbyists a little bit. Similar to when they clarified the wording, so non-professional drone pilots can monetize their YouTube channels as well and things like that. Okay. So
see, that's what had got me a little confused with your drone laws, because I was like, wait a minute, this is more confusing than ours. Like, how far or how close can you actually get to the people? And is that necessary? And I was,
and it's all going to be down to there's a little table, which is quite a good table, and it has the drone classes C0 to C4 down the middle, and then the qualifications as well. And depending on which drone and how close you want to get to people and then into specialized zones is basically where you're then able to how close you can fly and that type of thing. But so it sounds really complex, but it's actually really, in my opinion, simplifies it.
Sean, can you put your channel, please?
It's also the first airspace. Thank you, sir. It's also the first airspace that will actually have the certified open airspaces where there will actually be a designated airspace for the future delivery drones.
Listen, don't just subscribe to Sean Geeks Vana, but click the bell too, because he goes live randomly. He goes live randomly.
Yeah,
like
I do.
Not at 3 a.m.
He's got an impressive sidekick too.
Huh?
All the time, even now with the cat. You know what? I was looking at the thing where they also have like the 120 meters, which is like 400 foot. But if you're within 15 meters of the structure, you can be now. Does the whole height requirement go out the window?
No, it's a 1-for-1 rule. 1-for-1 rule. So if I get to 5 meters of someone, I have to be 5 meters up. And 10 meters, it's 10 meters. It's the 1-for-1 rule basically. So you can't just get ultra close basically.
So
No, I'm
so
saying
base-
like a building or something like that. If you wanted to, you can go over it.
Buildings, they've kind of removed the whole building side of it. It's more people they're worried about. Buildings, again, you would hopefully have permission to be, if you're that close to a building, to be close to them.
Okay.
But it's they've basically created these little corridors so that it does become a lot safer.
Well, Sean, is it still a 400-foot rule there?
Yes, sir.
See, I think that's what Herman was asking.
meters, 120 meters out as well.
Yeah,
So
Herman was asking, like on a building here for us, we can go up 400.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's
Well, you see,
it's
a
from
lot
the
of people-
where you were stood. So for instance, sorry, Herman, for instance, if we had a valley like this and I was stood down here, I could only go 400 feet. I couldn't even go up 400 feet above the valley in front of me. I'd have to go and stand up there.
oh wow.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like if you're within 15 meters of that said spot or place or person or whatever, how does that work as within that height requirement?
Well, basically, you have to use the 1-for-1 rule. So it basically means if you want to fly your drone at 10 meters in height.
Well, let's say if it was something that was 400 feet.
Oh yeah, I mean 400 feet. Well, as far as if the building was 400 feet, is that what you're talking about? Okay. Yeah, you could only go 400 feet.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. From the position of the pilot, you can only go 400 feet up.
But see, a lot of people misinterpret our 4x4 rule, that 400 by 400.
Yes.
And the first thing that they believe is that because I'm within the 400 feet of the structure, I can go 400 feet above it. Now, if you're operating, say, like in G space, and you're just outside of, say, well, let's say it's or you're just under the zone of well, let's say it's what is that? Echo space where airspace would start at 700 feet and rise up. Well, G space is underneath it. Now you can't breach that airspace to go 400 feet over that structure without permission to operate in that airspace. And a lot of people think that, oh, just because the structure is 400 feet and I'm within 400 feet, I can go over it by 400 feet. And that's not actually the case. You know, I've heard a lot of guys misinterpret that.
Yeah, I've heard debates on other streams that I've watched. I've seen two people who are very competent, YouTubers, bashing it out as far as who was correct. So yeah.
Well, Herman, don't you think that it comes down to airspace, then 400-foot rule, then you have to check the airspace and see, is it 400 feet?
Well,
because there's a lot. You go on a lot of these things, and you can't fly over 100 feet.
Right.
But you can fly 100 feet, but you can't go up to your 400 feet because the airspace is restricted up there.
I understand that. But how many people have you seen flying in places or in airspace at altitudes that they shouldn't be in?
What's good, Rhino?
And the first thing that they say is, I use the 400 by 400 foot rule.
Well, and how many of those same people, Herman, are 107 pilots? Because that changed. You have to be a 107 for the 400 by 400.
That's another thing a lot of people don't understand.
They don't.
See, I've heard the debate on that one. That one is the bigger debate. Oh, does it apply to 107 or does it apply to everybody or whatever? But I don't know. That's the biggest misconception about that 400 by 400. I was just confused about a few of the things that I saw when I saw a couple of videos on that. that I never can pronounce that. IASA.
IASA.
Yeah, and the CA.
IASA go bathroom. Is that what you're talking about?
Right.
We're coming together on all of these rules, and I started listening to some of these rules, and I was like, huh? Like how there's no test, but then there is a competency test or whatever. a test, not competency, but a test to see if you can. What is I was looking at to make you was it EC 785 certified. Was that the 2004 compliant or something like that? They said you had to be on some test of your ability to operate the drone.
Yeah.
Russ over here.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I don't.
Well, the EASA, it's local country registration and theory test for hobbyists above 250 grams. It's a 30 question multiple choice thing.
The question I
Very
have,
easy.
the question I have, Sean, is there's some debate amongst the union that they can add further restrictions on top of IASA if they want to. In other words, like they could make you take a flight test.
Well, if you're an EASA member state, you have to adopt their policies.
Mhm.
So it essentially is an organization which is now over the top of everyone's CAA, FAA type organizations. It's slightly different for us because we're leaving, so we're going to be mirroring it and adopting it in our own way. But again, someone like EASA telling Spain or someone you must do this, especially when you get to some of the more legally open countries in Europe, because Europe's a big place, you tend to start getting things that just aren't enforced, and that they don't bother with to make things a little bit more.
Well, it's like I heard the governance and I don't know whether it's what it is, but the governance, let's say in Madrid, okay, they have stated openly that they feel, they haven't been tested, they feel that they will comply with IASA in their area, but that they have the right to increase IASA higher if they want to make it more restrictive.
No, they don't have the because the idea is going to be that you're going to be able to basically pick up your drone as a hobbyist and you've passed your tests and everything else like that, and travel all over Europe and fly your drone under the same regulations. But again, it's one of those things, isn't it? If the federal government in America says you must do this, there's still plenty of the states that will say, actually, we're going to arrest this Michigan droner and we're going to put him through the rigmarole for 6 months, even though we know the law is
and
not.
that's the confusion over here, because there's certain language, and Herman, maybe you've seen it, where they said, and municipalities can be in charge, or we are going to allow municipalities and local governments to participate in the enforcement.
Yes, and you're saying with the FAA they did that, and the FAA also does allow local municipalities to create their own
no-fly
and laws, right, on certain things, because, like I was trying to explain to Lawrence, they can't tell you can't operate in the airspace, but they can tell you can't take off from that park.
Exactly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They can tell you that.
Well, supposedly, New York City Department of Parks is supposed to be getting a budget to print no drone signs.
Yeah.
Let's see where it goes. They started doing it upstate New York in Utica. All right. Now the town of Utica has like a water tower that the local drone pilots fly and FPV pilots dive and stuff. And now they're posting no drones around this water tower. So let's see if it stretches down here to the big city.
It's already over here. It's already here. See, Matt posted that already about you can go on FAA website and print out the template.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, Matt put it on the those guys.
Yeah.
I didn't see.
Yeah,
he
did.
FAA sent an email out to everybody who got registered and stating that you could download the template, just click it to some plastic board and post it.
Interesting. So you mean I could post a no drone sign on my front gate and be behind it flying?
Exactly.
No drones over my airspace.
What makes that kind of weird is the fact that what
I had no
what they're
idea.
doing is they're trying to use everybody else to bottleneck you into a park
Yep.
or a park of their choice.
Right. So if you're flying someplace and they have a no drone sign, as long as you're not landing or flying from that property, they really can't mess with you.
Right.
But if you go into a property where that sign is,
Well,
I could see them harassing you.
What's to stop the city from now starting to post those on the same pole with the no parking signs?
True.
Well, and my point being, because it isn't crystal clear. They can print all the no drone zone signs,
Mm-hmm.
but it should say no takeoffs or landings, because they don't control the airspace.
Correct.
And you know what you do? You use their words against them. You say, okay, here's the no drone zone sign. All right, I respect the no drone zone sign. How far does your border reach? Because usually if they're going to put it somewhere, it's going to be on a property somewhere. And 9 times out of 10, they don't want it over that particular property, which means,
property
okay,
behind the sign.
your side of the block is a no drone zone, but I could stand across the street or down the block or around the corner in a no drone zone, and nobody should be able to bother me.
Well,
Just food for thought.
and theoretically, you can drive. You
The
can
views
fly
and opinions
over
that are
there.
heard tonight are not necessarily the views and opinions of everyone on the panel tonight.
Well, no, you could.
Theoretically, Herman, you can fly over any sign that's posted as long as you're in
True.
legally flying in airspace.
Right.
Right. Now you can pass over a no drone
Yeah,
zone.
you can fly right over the park.
It'd be kind of funny to stand across the street, hover a couple of drones behind the sign, take a picture.
Don't give them any ideas.
With registration on the email.
Oh, that's right. I
What's that?
did want to.
Everybody with a registration will get an email for FAA. Oh, you're playing funny?
I need to
jokes.
upload. I need to upload this picture to
Just
Google
shoot a
Drive so
swarm flying
you
by.
guys can see what's happening here in the FPV world.
You know, large shoot a swarm of drones flying by, right over the no drone zone. Flying right by.
And what are they going to do?
And you would call it a actually, you could probably go, as long as it is not a restricted
Civil
area. You could go fly by a hospital just like the Blue Angels do. You know, it's like
Information, right?
information.
Man, the missing man formation.
Yeah.
You know,
Paul, don't give these
it's
crazy
funny.
New Yorkers any ideas.
No, but you know, talking about the whole thing of non-compliance, you know, and we talked about the FAA and some of the things that they do 100 times here. And we all know that recently they mentioned 8 companies that they plan to use as part of this remote ID, and to, I guess, from there further carry out their whole UTM system that they wanted to bring in. You know,
They're using T-Mobile.
a lot of guys are upset with this. You know, when I first saw it, I was like, you know what? Well, I expected it. I got a little pissed off about it, and I watched the video with Paul there from Drone U, May 11th, and he hit on a lot of things that kind of upset me the most about these people who are involved and the people who are not involved. You know, I think that DJI, I mean, not to say that they should have been on the panel because they're a drone manufacturer, but we should have seen a drone manufacturer, at least drone manufacturers, and if they could have ever gotten some way to get together and have representation in this situation as far as the consumer level or the prosumer level of manufacturing of drones. We have communication companies, all kind of service companies here, and companies that are lance providers, you know, companies that we already knew were working on, UTMs already, because Airbus is supposedly working with Pix 4D on something.
Right. And Herman's been talking about Airbus for about a year now.
Airbus
Since
and
the
these
last
people
symposium.
were at the symposium.
Yeah.
I don't know where the hell they dragged T-Mobile in from. I guess now because of the big merger, I don't know if that was what made them,
Well, T-Mobile's been
good.
pushing that 5G for quite a while, haven't they?
Yeah, but they were also pushing the merger for quite a while now too.
Yeah.
For even longer than this.
And they're the cheapest cell phone provider.
Later,
out there.
Indigo, man. Stay safe.
And they got all the people in place to carry out what they want to carry out. Now, what I'm confused about, I don't know a couple of these companies. I don't know if anybody here is familiar with One Sky. Is that the same people with the telescopes? I don't know who they are.
I don't either.
I'm not familiar with them.
Well, is that a subsidiary of what is it, the guy that wants to put the
Starlink? No, I had asked him that too.
I don't know.
Are they affiliated with
I don't know.
Starlink? No. He said no.
I don't know.
I thought about that.
I know who Intel, Amazon, AirMap, Airbus, Wing Aviations, T-Mobile. I know who those people are.
Right.
I know what they do. I know Wing Aviations has, a lot of operations going on.
And the other thing that's interesting of that consortium is I didn't see Boeing on there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see any, they were talking about American manufacturers. I didn't see any aerospace like
Boeing already has the military contract with the larger drones.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying though is Airbus, isn't that European? Aren't they, Sean? Isn't that a European consortium?
I'm explaining you why I understand that. Tell you why I kind of understand that. Because of what I heard Airbus was working on, and that's why I wanted to also ask Sean about it. In the area where he flies, are they using any UTMs right now? Because I was listening to things with about Unifly, and then talking about where they're operating at in certain places. I don't know. I was listening to, and Lawrence, you heard that that interview too with the guy from Unifly.
Mm-hmm.
How they were operating over in Europe and Germany. Germany. Yeah. They said he mentioned Germany specifically in it that
right. Germany and 2 other countries, I believe, are using the system. And
actually, they're coming to Canada. Definitely, that was reported that they were going to Canada.
Right. That they announced that they were being introduced in Canada. So it's a matter of time before Roger and them have to adhere to those particular RFID drone rules, blah blah blah, everything under the sun.
And they're also a lance provider. So now when I looked at these names here and I knew that Airbus was supposedly working with Pix 4D on something like that, then I kind of understood that, but I knew where they were going from the symposium. And when this name came up again, I was like, here we go. And remember, I told you that what are they going to do? I asked you, what were they going to do with Lance? Are they going to do away with Lance with this new system that they had showed everyone this graph in their proposal?
Yeah.
Here we go right here. Air Maps, a Lance provider. Amazon, we know where their stake is.
Yeah.
Same as Wing. The same as Wing. Doesn't Wing operate down in Africa in drone delivery already?
Yes. Yeah.
Come on.
See, my point being is, okay, I get it that there's people that are working in the industry, and this is a federal U.S. government project. Why is not a
I know where you're going.
Like Boeing or General Dynamics?
I know where you're going with that.
People involved. I mean, I don't care. You don't have to exclude Airbus, but there should be a couple of seats there of American aircraft engineering and high tech companies.
I agree with you 100%.
Right.
There was an FAA statement made about this, wasn't there, to say that this isn't remote ID. This is only a cohort regarding the technology behind. So this isn't actually, these aren't the companies that are going to be deciding on what remote ID will happen.
No, I got that.
Because of the
And
confusion that
I
happened.
also can't figure out who the hell came up with the cohort thing.
I know, right?
That is the dumbest statement.
I agree. I agree. Can we diverse from the subject a little bit? Because Herman, I wanted to point out something to you FPV pilots that are diving buildings in Manhattan. Okay, due to this COVID-19 thing. Right now,
That's a new thing.
huh?
That's a new thing because of.
They've been doing that.
Well, no, they've been doing it, but because of COVID-19, they literally have been diving buildings at an alarming rate. But there's a group out there called the FAA Watchdogs,
Oh,
and another group called FAA Snitch. And what's happening is they posted this on a friend of mine's profile, and it says reported to NYPD and at FAA Instagram accounts. Now, it also says, that they reported these guys' videos and they're reporting everyone's videos, but it says doxing dudes for free. For those of you who don't know the street language of doxing, look it up. But they found out one of these guys that are a member of this FAA Watchdogs and FAA Snitch is T-Plane FPV. He's an FPV pilot that doesn't even live in New York, but you see it says snitches get stitches.
Yep.
Apparently word is spreading over the internet that this guy is dropping dime on people because he's not skilled enough to do it. At least that's what it's rumored. Okay. And all I can say is
isn't that how it always happens?
The FPV community is really in an uproar about this, because if you have someone reporting you for flying your drone and they don't live in your state, what is the FAA going to do? What is the NYPD going to do? What's going to happen with this whole situation? It's almost like being swatted.
Well,
I could swat you. I could swat Paul from here in New York and have the police kick his door in or whatever.
Started on that.
But yeah, you get my point, though. You get my point.
My ideas. Let's not.
But anyway, I thought I should make it known to you FPV pilots that watch this live stream, that are watching now, or watch it after the live stream is live. Be careful. You have a bunch of guys out there that are trying to make it really bad for you. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
You bad on the timekeeping, man.
Yeah, you're slacking, Paul.
Well, you told me not to because it wasn't going to be a shot and a drop.
We was still going to get the drop. We weren't going to have a shot.
Oh, well, see, I thought you had it covered because it was just the drop. Because you take care of the drops.
You know that, Lawrence? Could you imagine that?
What?
I misunderstood.
Can you imagine if Paul was a timekeeper in boxing?
I know, right?
Like 15 minutes in the ring,
well,
and leaning on each other.
Yeah. They're just, if they're still standing in the corners, I don't know whether to ring the bell or not.
As long as they're standing, you're good, right?
You've been standing in the corner staring at each other for 7 minutes. Do I ring the bell?
Standing in the corner, bleeding on each other.
But Paul won't ring the bell.
Hey, Ray Hall, JSK Enterprise wants to know your channel. I guess he wants to support your channel, and you can in return support each other.
Okay, Herman.
Big Matt, what's good? What's Ray looking at? It ain't moving. Oh, on your screen, Ray is frozen, guys, but on our screen on the panel, Ray has actually turned his camera off.
Oh, he's back. Oh.
Coming off.
Yeah, it's black on our camera on Zoom.
I don't know what's going on.
See, I couldn't stop laughing. I'm looking at Sean. I'm looking at me.
You guys.
Now you're back.
Yeah, now you're back, Ray.
You know that, right?
What happened?
But you need help, right?
Are you moving, Ray?
I do.
Standing there.
I'm sitting right here.
See, that's why I couldn't get away with the perfect murder.
What?
They'd be like, Are you sure you didn't do it? And inside I'd be busting out laughing. I couldn't keep a serious face.
Yo, did you ever see that guy? He's in the train station. What's up?
The Statue of Liberty dude?
No, there's a guy. He looks like he's copper, and he's just standing there. He's just
he's like one of the bronze statues that they have in the
forever.
subway. Yeah. I haven't seen him. I've seen YouTube videos with him, but there's also a guy that stands on 42nd Street and he gets out there early for the tourists. This guy gets out there at sun up, and he gets on a box and he has the drape vest and he stands there, and people get around him. They say, "Oh, look at the statue." And every now and then, for laughs, when they're posing in front of him, he scares the hell out of the people in front of him. But for the most part, he's just standing there, perfectly still for periods of time. People look and get up close on him, and like I said, randomly he just jumps out at him. You know, like, what you looking at?
That scared somebody.
But yeah, I couldn't stand there that long. I'd fall asleep.
Fall asleep.
Yeah,
I'd be thinking about when can I go to the bathroom?
Don't drink nothing before you do it.
But yeah, Lawrence, you saw that video with that Matrice, right?
Yes.
The
Yes,
new
I did.
Matrice 300 RTK.
Yes, I did.
When they
And while you're
in this new Zen
talking about it, I'll cue it up.
H20. Now that camera is serious, bro.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know,
It's a beast.
you should know
that this drone right here is serious. Now I you know, with the I don't even know where to start on this thing.
First of all, it's
I'll
waterproof.
start with about $15,000, huh?
Yeah.
Something.
Well, I'm not even worrying about that. I'm just telling
You
you.
got money like that.
Herman has already ordered one.
Go buy one day.
Here
Go
we
buy
go.
one.
Here we go. Here we go.
Herman ordered one.
I'm worried about that. Yeah.
Here we go. Here we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, I go, brother.
You can't enjoy the technology in this drone because you can't afford it.
Yeah, no, you can't. How you gonna enjoy it if you don't have it? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You can't like the technology in this drone. Because
Oh, we
you
can
can't
like
afford
it. I like Ferraris too.
This is what I'm talking about.
No, I feel
You're
you.
talking about drone. We're not talking about buying it. I'm just saying that this shit is badass. This
No,
is
it's
a badass
badass.
drone. That
I
camera
must-
that's on it is serious.
I must
Everything is in that
agree.
camera. Everything. Yeah.
It's not cost effective.
It's got an IP
in my world.
rating of 45.
47 or something like that. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
55-minute
50 minutes.
running time. 55-minute running time with this thing. It's crazy.
Yeah, here's the link for
I'm
you
having a
guys who
hard
didn't
time
see
wasting 30
the
minutes. I'm
actual-
gonna waste 55
the
minutes.
actual
No, I'm
DJI.
just
I know
saying.
you said, Herb.
For somebody that's out there working, you're out there working, you doing inspections on.
Ray, you're on it, brother. You're on it. I got it.
You're doing inspections with this thing. You're so working man's drone.
Yeah, I come back after doing a ship, Ray, and I still got 65% battery left.
I understand that totally. and we what was it, Lawrence? You said learn how to shoot a video on 12 minutes.
Yeah. When I was flying 3DR solo,
We all know that, but what I'm saying to you, I'm
At the
talking about the features of this.
hold on, my evolution was going from a 3DR solo battery that only went for 15 minutes with wind and or certain conditions, you got 11, 12 minutes. I learned how to shoot videos, complete videos in that time frame. Then when I went to DJI, 30 minutes, 31 minutes was like I didn't know what to do with myself. Now I got 31 minutes. I'm sure I could use up 55 minutes of battery.
Well, it also, like I said, those batteries are hot swappable, Lawrence, on that drone. And you got
Hold on, Justin's here.
Yeah.
I see him. No, I see him in the chat, but I think I hear his car outside.
He can't, well, I don't know if he's in his car or if
You can hear his car?
No, he sometimes he comes up the block, boom, 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 boom. But then you hear the motor because he has his car is tuned. So I know the tuning of his car.
Okay.
That's what it sounds like. So when he got started, are you outside my house, Justin?
he's right
Yes, I
there
am.
in the car.
Yeah, see, told you. Told you he was outside. Give me a second, bro.
Hey,
I'm gonna
you know
mute
what?
this and I'm gonna join in on another window.
Hey, Herman.
Yeah.
I always knew Novice was special, but I didn't know he had some bloodhound DNA in him too.
Well, I've known people to say like they can hear you coming up the block and stuff like that. I've heard people, they get used to the
Herman,
sound of
let
your
me in.
vehicle.
Let me
I've
in.
heard that before. But Lawrence is the kind of guy, I don't know, maybe he can hear it from down the street around the corner. I don't know. Maybe he got a little bloodhound in him. I don't know what that is. What kind of motor oil is he using, Lawrence, by smell?
That's it. That's it. or from 25 or 30, you can tell what kind of an air freshener is hanging from the mirror. Yeah.
But yeah, I was saying about this thing here, that you know how we all, you know, Ray, you fly Phantom 4 Pro, you fly the Mavic, and you understand how the sensors on it is working. What I liked about this new Matrice is that it's using all of those sensors all the time in real time to feel and look around and give you a calculation of how much space you have to the left, right, up, and down all the time with this thing.
My daughter could use them.
And also, like when you're looking at like with search and rescue with this thing, and you know how guys always talk about range and things like that.
Let me mute here.
With this thing here, you can have 2 pilots on this thing, and with you having a transmission range of almost 9 miles,
Crazy.
with the waiver, you can take this drone out and let it fly to a certain you can't go anymore with it, and let the second pilot take over and continue to search and rescue with this and cover more ground with it. I just thought it was kind of crazy. And you know, with it being hot swappable, everybody could have battery stations. You can cover a lot of ground, and it can also, with the cameras on it, pinpoint where a subject is and transmit it back to your ground crew, the exact coordinates to where they are. This drone is really serious.
Also, this bird will never go into ADI mode. How about that?
Well, that's
They have
another
a system
thing
on it that prevents that, because it's designed to do inspections on around wires and metal.
Well, right, it won't click in, it won't lose it, it won't catch into a magnetic
I forgot what it's
field.
called.
Right. That's what another thing I was looking at with this.
How many batteries does it take?
2.
Yeah.
They're
Like
like,
the Inspire.
But it's you got 55 minutes up there,
small car battery.
you know, and you're talking about being able to carry 3 payloads or probably a light system on top or maybe 2 cameras. I mean, from what I'm looking at it, you know, with the way it has in that was the H20 series on that camera, with the was it a 20 megapixel wide angle camera?
Yeah.
And you have a 12 megapixel wide angle and a 20 megapixel 23 times hybrid zoom.
That's just crazy.
And you're talking about global shutter on this camera. So it's crazy. You also have in there a thermal camera and a laser rangefinder in there. So
Everything in that one camera without changing.
right. I mean, there's nothing really else you need besides maybe the light on the top.
They got away from that Inspire with all these lenses and all this different stuff. This is gonna be their new
camera
bird.
is
They're not even
serious.
building a new Inspire anymore.
But from what I wouldn't use this and the Inspire in the same
But the
for the
Inspire,
same job.
they've been having a lot of magnetic interference with that.
Also, the Inspire is
Yeah.
not waterproof.
Yeah, but I wouldn't use the Inspire in the same area where I would use the Matrice, and I tell you why. I don't believe that the Matrice is as nimble as the Inspire. It's not designed for you to be taking cinematic footage or
There you go, Justin.
shooting that way. It's a working drone. I think that's what it was always geared towards. It was never really geared.
Sean, you know you're flying illegally right now, right?
And
You know you're flying illegally right now, Sean. I'm just letting you know.
let's go back up, Sean. Yeah, I don't think it was designed for you to be out there shooting with it like that. But other than that,
It's a bad bird, though. Man.
it's one of the baddest drones I've seen released. You know, and think about this. I don't know, Paul. You saw the price on the coming soon drone.
Yep.
What is it, like 20,
What was the price on the coming soon drone? On their thermal camera.
With the thermal cameras and everything, somewhere around 18 to 25,000.
That's what they were charging for the coming soon.
Yeah.
Must be nice.
I just call it the coming soon drone because I didn't want to get people riled up on the panel.
Exactly.
Oh, look at here. Sean's up on Mars.
Now Sean is having a ball over there.
He's dropping on Mars.
But
There's
really,
his drone.
truthfully,
There's his drone right there.
I'm gonna go out and say it. Probably the best drone you'll probably see released right now for the spring is that
The Matrice.
yeah, too.
Oh, on the consumer level
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
for the year. That'll be the drone of the year.
Hands down, because do you have any problems using it, Ray?
Nah.
Okay.
Ray, have you've
Right out-
flown,
Dive right into it
Have
and
yours
get
and you flown
it
it?
going.
Right out the box, right flying.
Right, you can get into it and get it going. You don't got to take no trips to Micro
Uh-oh.
Center to make nothing happen.
I see you, bro. I see you. Sean.
Arriving, huh?
Yeah,
I
once
got very
realized-
excited earlier when it popped
once I
up.
realized
Good to
I
see-
put my mad
Good
mounted
to see you pull the trigger, Sean.
Sorry?
I
Glad
can't
to
wait
see
to
you
see
pull
when
the
Paul
trigger.
get his.
I was not buying that thing if I had to use my phone. Not what wasn't gonna happen.
So you put a tablet holder inside the
Yeah,
pop-up
the
thing,
map
did you?
mount, it fit right in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, superb. I have one of those.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I saw a video on that.
Yeah, I saw the video and they said it fits in there. And if it doesn't fit all the way, you could trim it a little bit.
Yeah, but the good
Yeah,
thing
it's a good
about it is your landlord is around your neck, so you ain't even got to hold it. You know what I mean? Once it's in there, you're straight, you know.
Beautiful.
Yeah, you can see your fingers, you can see the buttons, you know. With the other ones, everything is hidden underneath. Your fingers is hidden, you don't see your fingers, you don't see the display, you don't see anything.
Nice.
And map mounts is
I
great.
was still thinking about doing a live unboxing of it.
Well, Matt, you know what? I look at that price and I'm looking at the drone and I'm like, well, the kind of work you're going to do with it, you're going to be making that back anyway.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Easy.
You can't go wrong with the price. That's the thing.
No, as he was talking about the whole thing with the Matrice 300 RTK, the whole setup, because the battery charger is ridiculous. That's a drone.
Exactly. Yeah. What?
Well, look at the Inspire 2 had the charging case.
That too. That's what it is, and it charges those big old bricks that it takes, like
Yeah.
the batteries that they have in the exit signs.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what it looks like. But yeah, like,
Imagine going
on
Imagine going on an
FPV,
airplane with that in the Matrice.
What happened?
I
No, I said imagine going on an airplane with those two cases. They're gonna look at you
That's-
like, what the hell?
now that is funny. How do you travel with that? Because you
That's
have to
definitely
take it
going
on
in
your
a private
person.
compartment by itself.
You have to take those on your
Through a
person.
private shipping company.
And how many of them can you
That's
take
carry
with
on.
you? Because of the power of that battery? How many
You
of them
don't have
can
to
you
ship
take
that
with
with a
you?
shipping company. You can't put that thing on no plane, man.
I'm taking out carry on. That's my carry on. I'm shoving it in.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not letting
Sir,
that thing go.
can you step this way, please?
18,000. I'm not letting that go under the plane.
No, they're not putting it under there
That's
either.
why
They're
you
like,
send it through a private shipping.
Okay,
Hey, Paul,
step
you're
this
missing
way.
a girl.
It'll get there before you. It'll be there waiting for you.
Exactly.
Oh, you,
Just
oh,
like-
you
You
figure
want
this
to
way.
be cabin through the
No,
airplane,
but
carrying that
listen,
thing
they have companies just like the golfers.
Like a
Golfers
Paul's
have their
reaction.
clubs, their golf clubs shipped specifically by a company that handles them lays them down and doesn't throw the golf clubs. So you could have the same
You're
company
not
deliver
gonna
your
throw
drone, I'm
your
quite
golf
sure.
clubs at the
They
airport.
deliver it to the hotel before you get there, and before you leave the hotel, the golf clubs are shipped out. So if
Lawrence,
the
they're not
golfers
gonna
can
throw
do it, you can afford it.
Lawrence, they're not gonna throw your golf clubs at the airport. Because the first thing they're gonna think is, I gotta pick them
That's
up,
why you ship them ahead of
and
time.
if they're bent up, they're gonna blame me.
Well, you
there's-
figure this way.
They use
Now
the
your bag,
to do it.
forget about it.
They have companies that let you that will ship your clubs for you.
I'm good.
But you figure this way, if you're spending 25,000 on a drone, you better know someone that got a private plane.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that is a
Well,
valid point.
I mean, if you're an independent contractor doing inspections, because they have guys that do it. Now what? You got to get it there somewhere. I don't think so. Not necessarily. But you have to find a way to travel with them. There was a guy who did a couple of YouTube videos who did line inspections. He had the 200 series, and he talked about how he traveled all over the place doing these inspections and how long he's out in the field. And then after a while, he'll go home for a little while, and then he's back out for a few months just inspecting these poles. And he's got a series that he's got to get done in a certain amount of time. He's got a driver,
Right.
And he pays for him and his driver hotel fee and everything. They drive all along this whole route of these poles and inspect them.
Right. I remember you mentioning that, talking about that.
I'm quite sure he's got to fly into certain areas. He can't just drive up in there. But yeah, he talked about his whole life with that and how much money he has to spend monthly to the amount of money he gets in return.
Yeah, but think about that's a good little bit of change, though.
Yeah, but the crazy part about it is that he's out there with more than one bird.
Yeah.
Now what?
True.
You talking about $27,000 for one drone and a battery charger setup. He's got two Matrice out there doing his work.
Huh.
You never know what happens if just in case.
Yeah, right.
How many times have you gone out to fly and there was issues with your something and you're like, oh, I gotta calibrate.
Yeah, I know.
I gotta
Something,
download that and
compass,
something
the
always
camera.
goes wrong. It's always something can go wrong.
This is true.
Like
This is very, very true.
Like in the video what Ken was talking about, the magnetic interference issues. You remember when we were at Kaiser and then I had the magnetic interference issue?
Yeah.
And I calibrated, I took off from the box, and when I came down back to the ground where that same magnetic interference issue was, the drone flipped over backwards.
Mm-hmm.
So, things happen. You never know. But you got anything else on FPV? Because that's pretty
no, what's up, Happy Lux? No, other than just wanting to advise the FPV pilots that are diving buildings a minute. Watch what you post. There's just a group of people out there that mean you. They mean you no harm. I mean, they mean you harm. You saw Justin, right?
Yeah, they're going hard. They basically a couple of guys are like posting at the FAA and all that stuff. I mean, this is cool, but it's like people are just going like, oh, just it's just the normal people.
Well, it's not just only that's been going on and all, in the drone community for a minute, not just in FPV. Now, we all know of one person in particular that has had many people pick on him with this nonsense.
I haven't seen much with the camera drones.
No?
No, I haven't seen
Where you been, Justin?
Yeah, where you been?
I've been under a rock. I've been under a rock. Someone just kicked it. And I came out.
Nah, snitching in the drone community been going on for a long time now. Lawrence, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm
here.
mooning the
chair
camera,
just-
bro.
What happened?
I'm mooning the camera, man.
Oh no, my freaking chair, the lever to go down hits this chair here. And when it does, all of a sudden my chair drops like
Can
10
you turn it
inches.
around?
So
Huh?
what happened?
Can you turn that part of the chair around and just swing the top piece of the chair to face straight?
I could turn the chair this way, but then I have to face the computer and keyboard sideways.
You mean your chair?
But I am looking
swivel
directly
all
at
the way
the
around?
What happened?
Your chair doesn't swivel all the way around?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
It does, but I can't put the lever on this side. It needs to be on this side here, away from the chair.
Okay.
But anyway,
You say so.
Justin, when we going flying again, man?
Tomorrow.
Right, Saturday or Sunday. Either days.
Tomorrow looks like a good day.
Herman.
Oh, it's time for a drop.
Well, you heard the gong. You heard the gong.
At 6 o'clock.
I'm reminding you.
Okay, guys. Wednesday night with those guys is sponsored by
Those
guys.
Nice.
No dropping a shot tonight, FYI. Sean, thanks for coming in, man. We appreciate you.
All right, Sean. Thank
Nice
you.
to see everyone.
Thanks for stopping by,
Stay
man.
safe.
Thanks for helping me out with that.
Hey, Sean.
I promise there will only be 300 Mavic Air 2 videos on my channel by tomorrow night.
Hey, Sean.
I'll get to 600 by
You know
Sunday.
what? Start with the unboxings.
I'm thinking of doing a live unboxing. What do you think of that?
I think it's a good
Say,
idea. Hey,
let me see
Sean.
this bit. Let me see that bit.
Thanks
Sean,
for the lib moment.
No, just don't
Let her
unbox the packaging or the booklet and all that. I don't want to hear about the booklet.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll let her unbox.
Oh, look at this cable.
Exactly.
This
Yeah.
cable. It's
Yes.
got connectors on both ends.
You see, Sean, if Lib did it, it would be a whole lot different.
She has got one coming, so
Oh, wow.
she has the Air 2 on order. So
Oh, no, very nice. So you guys should go out flying and one go live and
Yep.
that would interesting future shows.
that's the plan.
You
That
do
is
the
the plan.
care refresh, Sean. You do the DJI care refresh as well.
Yes, and I've got a really good insurance policy over here that will also replace it without a body as well. So
Great.
which is
Okay.
pretty good. Yeah.
State Farm will do that one time. That's it.
Yeah,
Well, not true,
I'm
'cause
amazed they still do it. So
Not
it's,
true, because State Farm hit Elliott off twice.
But they ain't doing it no more.
Oh no, I know.
Mess up for everybody,
yeah,
That dude's
I'm
name
amazed
is
they do
Martin
it.
on the insurance situation.
especially in Best Buy. Forget about it.
blacklisted. All right, stay safe, everyone.
All right.
You
you
fly
soon.
safe,
If-
fly safe.
If you see me crying on camera in the next 3 days, it means I crashed it straight away.
No!
Oh,
No, bad word.
Unlike Ken Dobo, I will not be admitting to it.
No, just take your time.
Now, Sean,
Pre-flight check.
is that tomorrow, Sean? You're getting it? Atta boy.
Yes, sir. Yes. So
Sean, I'm
late
gonna
your
put
time.
a chat. I'm gonna put something in a message before you go to you.
Uh-oh.
In the private chat?
Yo, Nelson.
Lawrence, I've told you not to call me that.
What happened?
There we go.
So
There you go.
disappointing.
That's all I got to say.
Who, me?
Yes, you. Yes, you.
Thank you for the advice, everyone.
Have a good
You know
evening,
what?
Sean.
On that app, I don't think you have it.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, really?
Already
I
built
think
in.
it's built in.
Oh well, Sean, never.
Because that's what everybody was saying about the Mini.
Sean was planning on going right out and diving building.
But if it isn't, just don't do it.
So I need to cancel my trip to Heathrow Airport then.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a real
Okay.
disappointment.
Most definitely, Sean. Have a great evening, bud.
All right.
Thanks for coming in, Sean. We appreciate you. What's up, Aerial Landscape? Better late than never. We appreciate you coming in. We appreciate Nelson.
Yo, Nelson.
Okay, first
Check
of
this
all,
out.
let me click on that page and see.
Nelson. As
How
soon
are
as
you,
you get
Nelson?
back, I need you to take care of me.
What happened?
No, I'm talking to Nelson.
Oh, you know him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I knew Sharice too.
Oh, okay. Because
you know, that.
I'd be investigating these accounts here on the channel. You know, Justin, you must be getting ready to go someplace where there's people. See you putting.
Nah, I just came out of 7-Eleven.
Look out!
Uh-oh.
Cut him off.
The mask.
Cut him off. He got a mask on. He's running out of 7-Eleven.
And he's got a paper bag.
Yo, hold on a second. What happened to 7-Eleven?
Do I hear tires screeching and some man going, "Come back with that caddy"?
Bang, 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 bang.
No, but because they tell you can't come in the store without a mask on.
Yes. Yep.
It looked like you ran back to the cup.
Okay, just making sure, Justin. We weren't no witnesses, Denny.
You had.
So if I had the other mask, on, then there'd be a problem. the one with the skeleton face, then yeah.
See, nobody remembers that. I had to take all that wolf off myself, Nelson, and this is what I did to it.
Like run!
You can't really see it, but I nicked myself over here. So when you get back, I need you to take care of this one.
Oh, that's your barber.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You had the wolf face like I got, right, going on all the way up to here.
Oh, what's this? Everyone shaving? What's going on?
I had to get it off, man.
Herman went in makeup.
What's going on?
You know, Herman had to go in makeup before the live stream, Justin.
I was sitting there at one point, man, with all that hair. I felt like a dog. I was just sitting there like this. Couldn't take it no more.
Well, I used this beard. Believe it or not, the beard keeps the police away from me, because when they're looking for these young boys out here, they look at me and say he's too old. He's not going to do nothing.
Even when you're walking?
Well, they can see the beard outside of the mask. All of this is exposed. All of this is exposed when I have the mask on. So,
okay.
Unless I have my big one, I have my shopper's mask, and then I have my BS mask. Hold on.
What was that sound that sounded like the Indy 500 going on there? Was that you?
Just trying to get down the street quicker.
Well, yeah. When you're driving the getaway car, you don't just
hold on. See, this is the BS running to the local bodega mask, right?
Oh, those are the ones.
This one only comes down to here. These are disposable. But then I have the reusable joint right here.
They had the factory where they make those on
the reusable
Facebook,
joint, which is made by my wife's family member. That covers tight in here, tight across here, tight across the bottom. This is that I'm going into Costco and I'm coming out alive, man.
And Lawrence is taking orders.
And what happened?
Lawrence is taking orders. It's a family business, you know.
You know what, Lawrence?
They made masks for the entire family, the entire house here. Yeah. So
you can go down to the garment district, right?
And get some elastic.
Get some of
What's
those.
Up, EBR?
Never mind. It's not appropriate for the show.
The views and opinions that are heard tonight are not necessarily the views and opinions of everyone on the panel tonight.
I tell you to get the cheap bras and cut them in half and put those earrings on them.
Yeah,
so
what you do is
around your ear.
You go in, Lawrence. You go in. You say, "Yeah, I think I'm a C. I think it's
get the cheap ones at wholesale.
C, yeah.
You get them in different sizes.
Get a C cup. Yep. Yeah, a C cup or a D cup.
Yeah.
And for those that have that protruding, you might get a double D.
Right. You know, people with like big face, you might need something like that. And then like
the Night Train was good, man.
You know,
Night Train says just cut up an old sock and just remember to empty the dead skin out of it.
An old sock. Before or after the cotton
What's up, Drone Shots?
out?
How are you? I don't know. But Justin, we need a day to go fly. I need you so I can do a distance test
tomorrow.
But we need radios. You need your radio, Justin, because I want to go down to one end of the beach and have you at the other end with the radio. Then I want to send it
tomorrow.
What's the wind tomorrow?
I don't know. It's supposed to be dying down tomorrow.
Hold on.
It's supposed to be dying down tonight.
It's supposed to be, but Friday or Saturday, it's supposed to be 70 degrees during the day.
Yeah,
it's
and
raining.
rain at night. Hold on. All right, looking at the weekly schedule, tomorrow it says partly cloudy, 55, but Friday it says rain, but it's going to be 73. Saturday, 71,
I don't think
partly
you guys
cloudy.
look at
So
that
Saturday morning, I have to go do a light grocery shopping.
I don't
That we
think
could
you're
go
looking
fly.
at that right.
So we
What
could
you
fly
talking
Saturday
about?
and Sunday.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, you got a 10% chance of showers tomorrow.
10%?
10%.
Oh, that means it's not going to rain
gonna rain.
tomorrow.
30% on Friday.
Yeah, well, that's
And
not so
20
high
on
either.
Sunday.
Okay.
So you got 4 good days. Yeah.
All right,
There you
but
go.
that's not too bad. I'm willing to go flying. So I should charge some batteries tonight because remember those motors
Which
that
motors?
from Paul?
The
Remember
ones
the
you
other night
changed?
I took off the old motors?
Yep.
Well, the new ones are on.
Does it work?
Oh yeah, you didn't hear me start her up? You didn't hear all that beep, 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 all of that?
That means it gets power.
Huh? That means it gets
That means it's plugged in.
Here we go. Where
So
did
Justin
Justin
ran
go?
in another store?
Where did Justin go? He's
Oh,
switching cars on us and
damn.
forgot his phone?
He ran in another store.
He went into another store. Maybe he's picking up pizza.
Oh, there he is. I thought he's switching cars on us.
Well, it takes a minute for him to hotwire another car.
It must be home now.
Yeah, I'm home. That's what I was like.
Okay.
All right.
Because listen to Paul. Paul said it takes a minute to hotwire another car. How would you know these things, Paul?
I watch television.
Paul used to be out there back in the day.
I makes
You could reach under the dashboard and pull all the ignition wires out.
Back in the old days, they were right there. I'll tell you.
That's what I'm saying. Then you could just reach under and pull them down.
Now you got it. Now you got to rip the steering column apart.
Hey, Justin.
And bypass the key code in it.
Yep. Yep. And you
Hey,
have to
Justin.
break. You have to break the
Here's the
steering wheel lock.
VTX.
Yep.
Huh?
Here's the VTX I'm going to put in
Uh-oh.
this bird here.
Kaboom.
It's a TBS HV Pro, I think.
Yeah.
But it's small enough to fit in here.
Okay, guys in the chat. I'm taking a
What's
poll,
going on, Organized Confusion? How are you, bud?
Taking a poll. How long before after that drone is built will it be repaired? 1 flight, 2
You
flights,
hear this, Justin?
3
Do you hear these
flights.
guys?
I say it. I'm voting between 1 and 2 flights,
Ye have,
and
ye have
it
little
won't
faith.
be his fault either.
Ye have little faith. Why is my daughter's school calling me when the school is closed?
I think they got you on like automatic.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
You know what? Usually when they got the parent constant speed dial, that's usually the bad kids.
Diane.
You
There's
heard me, Lawrence?
no, I didn't.
When they constantly have you on speed dial, it's usually the bad kids.
I just gave the phone to my wife, so
She's just
I don't
following
care.
in
No.
Daddy's footsteps.
I'm looking in the Franken drone bag for something.
Lawrence, your parents constantly got called by the school?
Yeah. See, he's ignoring us, Herman.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm
That's
ignoring
That's
it.
what he does.
What happened to Justin? He broke out?
I don't know. Maybe he got caught at the store. I don't know. No, we went in the house.
Yeah, I know he went in the house and then he went dead.
Yeah, well, he's probably gonna either switch over or pretend like he forgot all about it. But he should be back.
Possibility. Just dawned on me. I can't.
Ray
put
got the
that-
Lysol on deck right there, just in case. Yeah, I'm telling you, them lights all came a long way, boy. They can't even keep it in the store.
But
I need
from
to
what I
find a
see,
way
they
to
can't keep anything in the stores.
Just dawned on me, I can't put this VTX in this bird
Why?
because it has 2 screw mounts. I'm gonna have to find a way to get it to go in here. This is the old antenna,
Yeah.
right? Okay, I'm putting this in with the much better antenna.
What you trying to say, Lynn?
What happened?
No, Lynn.
What's up, John Donato? How are you,
Hey,
sir?
hey, Lawrence, I'll give you a hint.
Donato.
What?
It's called duct tape.
No, that don't work on racing drones.
What, duct tape?
Yeah, that
Duct
doesn't
tape.
work on racing
Hold
drones.
on, what are you trying to
This
duct tape?
antenna needs to be mounted.
He
This
needs to
antenna
mount
needs to
that
be
on there, and
mounted
the
in
screw
here.
holes don't match. I told him duct tape.
Well,
Hold
it's
on,
got to
the
be
thread-
mounted in here because if it doesn't fit in here like that,
Okay, so what is
like this through this hole here, it'll
now,
get
now
ripped off
listen,
in the first
what is
crash.
that in the hole? Is that a bushing?
There's
No.
usually a
On the
screw
drone
that goes
itself.
over it. Huh?
On the drone itself.
On the drone, that's just a washer. Once I take that washer out, this will go in through there. And then I'll be able to, I have to be able
Hold
to
it still,
secure
let me see something.
I have to be able to secure this antenna.
You just got to go buy the brass ring that screws on the bottom of that.
And right, the one on the bottom and one on the top.
Yeah.
But it has 2
All right,
screw
that's what I'm
holes.
saying.
What happened?
You may not need that.
Yeah, just cut it off.
Well, it's going to come up through like this. It's going to be
Right.
sticking up
I
about
get
that far.
that. I'm just looking at where it's passing through now. That little piece that's in there.
Oh, this
That's
little
coming
one,
out.
yeah, that little antenna, that I could actually
I
push
know
out.
that's coming out. I'm talking about what's around it.
Oh, that's a rubber washer.
That's what I asked.
Yeah, yeah.
You just got to, you can change that though, right? Can it fit through that hole?
Yes, yes. But I still need a screw to mount it down to here.
To tighten it down.
You see what I'm saying? I'd
I
have to
see
use a
what you're saying.
screw to tighten it down to
The
there.
fact that it's rubbery, now you would need that. But if it didn't, there was ways around it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, if you take the rubber off,
But
then
then
you're
it'll
flying
pass straight
dangerous.
through.
if I take the rubber off, the whole piece will pass through.
Yeah, it would pass
I
straight
still
through.
have
He
to
would
secure
need
it from the bottom.
he
Yeah.
would need something in there to be able to even use like a lock washer set up on it to hold it.
In fact, here we go. There's the antenna out. I just pulled through there. So
Oh,
Basically-
broke now.
Stick it
I
up
just
in
have to
there.
go to Lowe's tomorrow and find one that fits like this because it's only going to stick through. Once I put the antenna on, the antenna is going to pull it tighter.
Well, push that thing through there. Let me see.
Put it
something.
through there so we can see.
With the washer on, it barely fits. I barely have anything to grab. But it'll pull the antenna in tight. So I need to put a washer on the bottom side here.
Well, what I'm thinking is when you put the antenna, you tighten the antenna on, it'll tighten it up too.
It is, but I still need to secure the base. So
Yeah,
if it
but
twists
because
anyway,
but because
metal.
it's rubber, that metal will still move.
right, exactly. So I'm gonna go to Lowe's
It's
tomorrow,
nothing to bite
or
into.
hardware store, and get a ring for this to put on 2 of them, one with a washer to put on the bottom, and then I should be okay. I just take it with me to the hardware store.
Yeah.
The guy is always like, "What size is it?" I'm like, "I don't know what the hell this is." So I
What,
just give him
scroll?
this. You know, he has the little die with the cut out with the holes cut out of it.
Good luck.
What?
Good luck.
Good luck.
I have those shit.
And the hardware store. Yo, the hardware store has become a joke.
Yeah, I know. When you can go into Lowe's and find
You
everything.
can't find nothing in the hardware store. Oh man, they terrible now. You know what you can find in the hardware store? Keys
Hardware.
and locks. No, keys and locks.
Right.
They don't have nothing else.
And weed killer.
Roach motels and rat traps and stuff like that. They don't have nothing in the hardware store anymore. Home Depot and them just killed it.
You can still go to True Value and still get your stuff out of there. Ace Hardware.
That's a little bit different than the regular hardware.
No doubt, but that's what I'm saying. It's hardware. That's where I go.
That's a little different than the regular hardware store because I know the one that was that used to be on Flatbush going downtown there to Barclays Center. You could get paint and everything was up in there. They sold paint and everything. Now, like if you go to the hardware store over here, can't get nothing from that dude but a lock.
Lock,
maybe a lock and a cheap hammer.
And a plunger.
Yeah, and a plunger.
Mm-hmm.
A cheap plunger at that.
Now you might be able to get a good one. But he quicker be able to sell you a bike tire than he can for any electrical supplies or anything that had to do with plumbing or carpentry.
Damn.
Probably give you a paintbrush that's rotted out too. Put it to paint the whole brush.
All the hairs be on your wall.
Exactly.
It'd be like
what's walking around pulling hairs off your wall.
That's what this guy did a couple of years ago. I sent him to paint a jar. He said, I'll bring my own brushes. Okay, all right, cool. So I got there 2 minutes before right after he started. I said, you know what? Throw that shit in the garbage. Because it was all over the wall.
Brush was so old it had a can of paint in it.
Yeah, nah, these are good brushes. Yeah, I can see they good brushes, but they're old, bro.
Yeah. Right. As soon as you start dipping them, they just start sucking up the paint.
Yeah, like what the whole gallon of paint gone?
They only did two dunks, right?
2 brush strokes on the wall.
Yeah. Nice.
Be careful when you. It will limit the amount of thread the antenna will have to screw on. I was looking at that, thinking about I might have to take the rubber washer out and come up with something new, but I'm going to go to Lowe's and just walk up and down the aisles and I'm going to get somebody and be like, look, this is what I need to do with it. Plain and simple. Yeah, exactly. Because I know they'll probably have a bag full of the rings. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Paul Murray, be careful. He said at Paul Murray.
Yeah, but if you take that rubber out, right, Lawrence, now you got a big hole that thing may pass completely through it.
If not, it'll be very close. It'll be very close. I'd rather leave the washer in there so the antenna isn't banging around, but I'll figure something out, definitely. I'll have to. Because I have the same antenna on this one. These are 2 of the same exact birds, but that I don't want to touch. The other one, the VTX, is this one here. The VTX is starting to burn out.
Oh boy.
Well, that happens. I didn't know, but with VTXs, they start at 25 milliwatts, which is basic temperature on basic setting for like racing drone. And then once you go to 200 milliwatts, 400, 600, 1 watt, they get hot sitting there.
I don't burn out nothing on my drone.
Right. So if it's sitting there and not flying, there's a risk that it can short out. And they're designed when they start getting hot to slowly shut down.
Wow.
And if the antenna no screw on fully, the VTX will right, that's true. If the antenna is not screwed on tightly on the VTX, you will burn out or short out the VTX. I have had that happen.
That's why I tell you, when you modify these antennas on these remote controls too, you're not supposed to put no power on it until you get this thing totally assembled, you know?
Well, with the mod, that's at Far Sky. So I use the stock antenna here.
Okay.
But when I'm using TBS or trying to do distance, you can't power this on unless the antenna's on.
It's on, exactly.
Yeah, because it's 900 megahertz. Well, it's 8 and change. Might as well say 9. But they tell you specifically before you even power it on, put the antenna on.
Yeah.
Poof.
Hey.
What are you shopping for now, Paul?
Oh, I was just checking my drone delivery.
Lynn thought duct tape and baling wire fixes everything.
No.
It's in Memphis, Tennessee, and it just got released from being
customs?
import
From
custom.
customs.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because you got to take into consideration on the line's vibration, the linen, duct tape, and wire. You think it would start rattling
duct
around.
tape doesn't. Duct
Then
tape
it'll
does
be
great
in
on
the
a car
propellers after a
fender.
while.
It does great on a
There's-
car bumper or fender, but not too good with vibration and speeds.
Well, there's always Gorilla Glue.
Hold on a second. Duct tape don't belong nowhere on your car.
You see it all the
You know how
time.
hard it is
Stop.
to
You see it all the time.
off your
Holding up people bumpers and everything with duct tape.
Yep, Ray, you know. You
see.
see it or holding the doors closed.
Nah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Your window got a leak. It's
Lights.
across the top of your gasket. Yeah.
Holding the gas door closed.
Mhm.
Duct tape, the wonderful healing tape. It heals anything.
Now you gotta get the rest of the car painted because you can't get the duct tape off the good side.
Yeah, man. I don't
That'll
understand.
kill you in
You'll
the
get it
summertime.
tomorrow or Friday, Matt says.
That'll kill you in the
Right.
summertime
Once
when it
it's been
starts
released
getting
from
gooey.
customs, Paul, it's usually about a day traveling to you. You should have it in about a day or two. Big Matt is
Well,
right.
it's still scheduled to be here by 10:30 a.m. tomorrow.
It will
Geeks
be.
Vana, yes, they did make a car out of duct tape, but it wasn't too successful.
I did that when I was a kid.
No, that's okay.
Made all kinds of things out of duct tape. You know, the roll from the paper towel and all that stuff as a little kid. Made all
Unless you're some
kinds of
paper
stuff.
towels now, you get beat up.
No, I'm talking about the
Use some tape.
cardboard on the middle.
Yeah.
They were finished with it. Yeah. I
Yeah.
made all kinds of things as a kid.
Mhm.
I was
So you had a do too, right?
I was an art kid.
You know what a do is, right? When you take the wrapping paper roll or the paper towel and you go do.
No.
Okay.
I don't
Like your
ever,
homemade bugle.
Herman, I don't
Uh-huh.
ever remember doing that. Do you?
No. We didn't do that on my side of town.
Limited imagination.
Lawrence was able to entertain himself. I can see that.
I was the oldest kid. I had to.
Okay. So you were the one that got that had to put your feet on the paper and trace it out so they could take it to work with them and bring your shoes back.
Hey, I actually had a real pair of shoes bronzed. All right, that's how far back I go. You remember they used to do that? Take the baby shoes and bronze them.
Yeah.
That was a big thing back in the day until they found out the bronze was toxic.
Don't worry about it. It's just sitting there as long as you don't interfere with it. Like the asbestos.
John DiNardo says they've actually picked a car up with duct tape.
Mythbusters has done a lot of things with duct tape.
Just because they can do it, that don't mean you should do it.
See, Big Matt knows da do.
Nah, but duct tape, yeah, man. If you need to seal something up, yeah, it works fine. But when you put it on the car, man, it's just a mess.
Oh, but see, now they got the flex tape, the waterproof joint.
Yeah, you got all kinds of
They
stuff.
got the flex tape. They got the flex paint.
Yo, I told you about the video on YouTube with the guy who did his styrofoam container from his Phantom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he sprayed that on there. Talking about now his case is waterproof.
Yeah, yeah. The cooler that the Phantom comes in, you know, that gray the beer cooler.
Yeah, he sprayed it with that stuff. Talking about his case is waterproof now.
Duct tape racing.
Oh no.
Yeah,
I used to work in this warehouse, Lawrence, in Long Island City. I showed you the spot.
Yeah.
And some of the women that work in the office, you'd have to walk out through the exit from the warehouse to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the guys in the warehouse used to take the rolls of tape when the women are walking, and leave it and roll it behind them and let it roll past them. They would think like a rat or something ran past them. They would start screaming.
Yo, the funny part, when they turn the corner and they see that going, listen, that's funny because we used to do that. But you know, in the project, we lived on the 11th floor, right? And you know, being kids, always doing something stupid. You know, sticking people in the elevator, riding the elevator cars was one of the things.
Yeah.
People in there. So one day, you know, we made up something else. 2 things we did. We used to hot the elevator button with like about 4 lighters, just melt the button. So when people had to press the button for the elevator,
it would get stuck.
No, they were stuck to the button. The other thing was we used to get some thread. My mom lived on the 11th floor, so we would go all the way down to the 6th floor and put the thread on the knocker and be all the way upstairs on the 11th floor. Like, who the hell is it? Knock it on. Who the hell is it? And you never see that thread because it's so thick. We're on the 7th. We're on the 6th floor doing it again. Tap tap tap. Boy, it was bad, yo.
See, kids today aren't that creative.
We did that with Mike Tyson on Amboy. He was on one side of the building, we was on the other side doing it.
That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Big Matt says they used to do that also.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Big Matt's from Red Hook too.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to hear something that they did in the projects, but they got me with it. Now, what they do is on a stairway, they know in a building, a big apartment building, children take the stairs. Back then, a child could run up and down the stairs back and forth. So what they would do is on one floor, they'd cut the light off. And then when you go down another floor, they cut the light off. But when you reach for the doorknob, all you felt was something creamy. Like you're like, oh, I know they didn't put shit on the doorknob. But when you got in the hallway, it was peanut butter.
Yeah. It wasn't always peanut butter.
Because they put peanut butter on the doorknob. So instantly your brain would think, oh, they put shit on the doorknob. Oh, because you couldn't smell it. They would do this all day. Yeah. And you'd hear people cursing up and down the stairs.
Did some things.
We didn't have those problems. We did have a bad elevator that like say you got on the elevator and went upstairs, you saw me coming, you didn't hold the door, you just got on.
Yeah.
If I wait, like you going up a few floors,
you could pull the door,
yank the door real hard and stop the elevator.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
I thought we were the only ones that had an old elevator like that. Because what it does is once you pull the door, the elevator goes into the e-brake, so the emergency brakes kick in. Because the elevator will not move if any of the doors on the floors are open.
That's why they changed them to sliding doors.
Yep. I remember we used to pull the door real hard and the elevator would stop right there.
It don't matter. We still could do it. That's what they changed. They put a new catch on this.
So JSK Enterprise says his cousin lives in Red Hook. Every time I visit, someone would break into my car. So I stopped driving and took the train there.
I don't know. I never had no problems.
Those are good old days, though, Jay. Those are good old days.
So that's what it is. Though that car is not from around here. We got them. Wait till they go upstairs. Mm-hmm. Gorilla Tape. Yeah, that's another good product. Gorilla Tape on a drone? No, I don't think that'll work though.
Well, it might help hold it together when you crash it.
Well, it depends. You know how you were having those problems with those straps?
Yeah.
One good wrap or some duct tape, you're good to go.
They've solved the strap issue. They have Kevlar straps now.
Yeah, but that duct tape, boy, you just go around at one time.
That's true. But then you couldn't get the battery off if it caught fire and your bird would burn.
Just peel the duct tape off or wait for the duct tape to burn and just pull the battery out. You might get like a toxic smell a little bit, but
yeah, I know, right? The plastic, right? Just the burning plastic and the glue from the duct tape, which should kill you alone.
Yeah, I know this guy, right? He used to smoke weed on the job. And I'm like, yo, dude, you know they could smell that, right? He goes, nah, no, they can't. I'm like, why they can't? He goes, the door's closed. I'm like, well, then how am I telling you that they can smell it if I can smell it? He goes, you can smell it? So he's burning the duct tape. I'm like, yo, why are you burning the duct tape? He goes, it takes away the smell. I'm like,
that's as bad as someone said, if you're ever smoking in the house, cook onions. The first thing my mom said when he opened up the door was, smoking weed in here?
That's funny.
After that, I was the person who told me if I could have slapped him, I probably would. And she said, and I know you was high because you cooked up all my damn onions.
Okay.
Oh man,
it don't work like that.
Paul looks pretty busy. What are you editing a video, Paul?
No, I was just looking at something.
What's up, Corey Mano? How are you?
Lynn, is that true? The onions will get rid of the smell?
I don't think so.
They don't use the onions to throw the dogs off, do they?
All I know is there was
Lynn's watching me like a hawk.
Yeah. Lawrence, I remember when I was an apprentice, I went to this one job for the weekend. No, I don't know these guys from a hole in the wall, but I run into this one guy there that I know. And I was an apprentice at the time, and he was a mechanic. So they told me to work with him. I'm working with the guy. And the whole morning, he's on the phone arguing with his girlfriend. We got almost no work done.
Wow.
So I go to lunch with the guy. He's smoking weed at lunchtime. He goes, I'm getting tired of this girl. She always calling me on the job, telling me what this one said and what that one said. And he's arguing with her about her father said it. He saw him in his truck with some girl when he was supposed to be at work. He was like, he goes, how am I supposed to be with some chick I'm at work? He goes, tell her I'm at work. Tell him I'm at work. I'm like, yo.
Oh, now he involving you.
Like, dude, I don't know him. So now he goes, so he says to me, he goes, you know, I got to get up. He goes, I got to peel this orange. So that way when I go back on the job, they can't smell the weed on me. I'm like, okay, all right. I guess that's something new I learned right there.
Right.
But the orange does take the smell away.
Okay. All right. See, learn something new every day.
Yeah. You taught us. Yeah.
You learn something new every day.
Wow.
That orange peel is bad though, boy.
Oh yeah, I take the smell right away. Just especially if you walk in peeling it.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
The juice is just popping off that peel. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. That would make a lot of sense. I would have never. I didn't know that.
Once you peel it, the smell's off your hands.
True.
Remedies, man.
But yeah, that was then you know he argued with us some more at lunchtime. We got no work done that day.
He wanted you to confirm that he was really at work.
It was hilarious. You had to hear it. Like he would get mad and hang up, and she called right back. And he would argue with her.
Well, look, listen. Sometimes enough is enough. All right.
Hey,
you don't believe I'm working? Pull up the car. Sit outside. I'm serious.
Hey, I've seen that too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, our wives will be waiting outside especially on payday.
What's up, Kurt? How are you?
Because you know, in construction, you get a lot of guys that have issues about making it home with the whole check.
Right. Yeah. When they do get home, it's 4 a.m. after leaving to go pick up their check on payday, and they're broke.
You know.
Hey, Val.
Hey, Val.
How you doing?
I see you using the hell out of OBS these days.
Well, this isn't OBS. This is just Zoom with.
Oh, okay. Looks like you were working with OBS there.
What's all that behind you?
My coffee store.
Oh, you're in a coffee store.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, that's right.
Who are the people over there?
in the background there?
Oh, Jose and Ferrar.
How you guys doing? Let's see. Let me get one.
They're good. Who's this, man?
Hey, Kurt, we
Derek,
appreciate
what's good, Kurt?
we appreciate you coming in. That's Kurt Blankenship.
Yeah, I know this.
Ray,
So Kurt,
from
Very
the Long
good.
Island group there.
yeah, I met
We
him
need
out
to
there.
get out on your end before this COVID thing is over and try to get in a couple of flights
Yeah, he was
out
saying
in Long
that.
Island.
Mhm.
When we going?
That's the problem.
What's up, Kurt?
When the weather
What day is good for you?
When the weather says we can go.
When the who?
When
Yeah,
the
we
weather
can go
says
now.
we can
Look,
go,
look.
man. Yesterday the winds were like
Look now,
50 miles an hour.
We ain't had green like
I
this.
keep telling you, by tonight, right around now.
Yeah, right now is the perfect. Of course, it's always
No, but you're not listening. If you look at those, go down to the thing where it shows you into tomorrow on
UAV.
yes.
Oh,
Got clear sailing.
Wow, at 7 in the morning, the wind's gonna be 7 miles. Yo, I'm charging some batteries tonight because they say by 2 o'clock the wind's gonna raise. By 12, it's gonna raise to 14. 1 o'clock, 20. 2 o'clock.
You got
1400 hours is
afternoon.
5. So there's a window
Tonight to 2
between.
o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
There's a window
What
between
happened, Ray?
7 and
So
10.
you got from midnight tonight to 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon before it
Something
changes.
like that, yeah.
Okay. I
Right.
need to charge up some batteries tonight. That's what I'm gonna do.
Where we
Yep.
flying at?
Sounds like you're going flying.
Val,
Hmm?
what's good?
Coffee.
Oh God,
Coffee. Oh no.
you might have had too much. You keep saying coffee.
I know, right?
That's coffee.
What is that you
sounds,
drinking?
that sounds like someone is not
Italian
supposed to.
soda.
Diet soda.
Italian soda.
Italian soda.
soda.
Mhm.
What's
Italian
Can't
soda.
be.
You do know Italian soda is coffee.
What's
It's sugar-free
Elsa.
strawberry with
with a shot of what?
sparkling water.
And a shot of what?
I need to find
Nothing. Nothing.
Nothing. It's
Yeah,
just-
I threw coffee in it, but I'm not sure it tastes that good.
no.
So what have you guys been up to? What's good with y'all?
Well, nothing much. We talked about a few things tonight. And we're just winding down here, talking, shooting the breeze.
Did we do our drop?
Oh, we were supposed to get one before the last one to get out of here, but we didn't get it. But now that
You
you're
rang
here,
the bell 8 times.
here we go.
31.
Here we go.
If you rewind back
Here we
20
go.
minutes ago,
Now he's snitching.
I rang it at 6:30. I ran it at 6:30, 29, 6:31, 32, and 34, and then I gave up.
But we were talking, Paul.
I know. I know.
Val, if you
Can I ask you a question?
I'm listening.
Did you take the final test that was in the remote pilot?
Who, me? I told you I took it.
Okay, I thought that's the one you said you took.
Yeah, you
And
have to
did you-
take it to finish with the course.
Yeah, to
before you
finish the
go
course,
take
you
your
have to
test.
take it.
Well,
It's a
gives you
requirement.
I mean, you don't have to, but you don't have to take even the quizzes, but to get
Because you can
through the
take
whole
it. You
thing,
can take the final test over and over and over.
yeah,
again.
you
Right.
can take any of them over. And
No,
over.
I did really good on it, but my question is, they give you that certificate of endorsement?
But from them, I don't think you need that.
Yeah,
I
I don't
do-
take that with me, right?
I don't think you need that from them because you don't have to use them to study for the test.
No, you don't. But if you want to, you can print it out and put it in your file.
Bad to have, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I thought
You want
that,
to put it up on your wall and have it laminated
Yeah.
and then
and sit down and tell stories to the grandkids
You
about
can
it.
have it tattooed on your left.
no, because I didn't realize they were going to do that, and then it says they endorsed me to take tests. I'm like, Christ, I don't have a printer anymore, so now I got to print this and take it with me. I wasn't sure. That's
No.
why I was
No.
asking. Okay. I didn't know why I got it. I was like, I don't know.
How come you don't have a printer anymore?
Well, I have one, but I got to go through like a 20-minute process to get it to work.
And you need a new printer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds like
I
you need a
do.
printer.
Printers are not all that expensive anymore, Val. It's the
So
damn
how
Being
many
cartridge.
expensive a long time ago. It's
Yeah.
ink.
How many times do I have to take that test? Just the once, right?
Which
Huh?
test?
What the test when you finish the
Remote
course?
101?
You mean in that lesson with the
Yeah.
101?
You don't ever have
You
to.
don't ever have to take it.
Right, but it helps, and you take it more than once because it randomizes the questions.
Yeah, every time you take
to-
it, it's different questions.
Is
You
it
take it to see
valid?
how much knowledge you have, but as far as your 107 every 2 years.
Yes.
No, I was just thinking in the remote pilot.
No, in remote pilot, like they said, you don't have
You
to,
don't have
but
to
it's
take anything.
advisable because the randomality of the questions would help.
Change every time.
Yeah, and they are different every time you take them.
Because the test you're going to take is not the same questions every time.
Right.
Let me ask you, when you guys went in and took your test, were the questions similar to this?
Most of those questions that he gave you throughout the entire lesson are taken straight from that test.
Right. Now he will tell, and if you remember, he says this will be on a test. That's the shit you're supposed to write down.
Now they can
Stuff.
they can play around with things like throw in words like humidity or change. So you got to look out for the ambiguous
Yeah,
and
it's all a
unambiguous
play on the
words.
words. It's all a play on the
And
keyboard.
that's the only thing you got to worry about.
And
Okay.
usually, you know, what they tell you, Val, is one of the answers is just off the wall.
Stupid, yeah.
Well, yeah, you
Sometimes two of them.
So then okay, so let me make sure I'm understanding. So the test that remote pilot has to take their little final test are the same that they do for the FAA test?
Yeah.
Thank you. Even the dog said it.
Okay. I don't know. I okay.
He takes those tests. He says it throughout the whole lesson, all of the lessons, that most of these questions you're going to see on that test. They may try to confuse you with a few words or change things,
Yep,
adding
they
the word
always
humidity.
play with the words.
That might change what will happen with the weather. Things like that, you know, you have to listen for certain things. But most of those questions that he said, and some of the questions that he went over in like the boot camps and the other things on there were questions that he said were going to be on the test because other people saw them on the test. And those are questions that keep coming up that are on the test.
Okay, because there was a question in there that I had no idea of the answer.
Counter.
Well, when you answered it, didn't it go back and tell you what the answer was?
Yeah. And I went back and got it, but it was like some of it is just, I don't know.
Did you
I think seriously, you're
I had to
over-worrying.
guess at it. I had to guess at it.
If you pass the final test and you're worried about it, you're over-worrying. Seriously, Val.
Yeah, because your 107 license doesn't give the score on the license. You just pass.
Right.
It's a pass or fail.
Oh, I'm not worried. Yeah. And I'm fine with that. But I just thought, well, I don't want to fail.
But well, see, first of all, that's why you take the test more than once.
Take it often. Yep.
Now, where you have problems, that's where you go back. And if you had problems, I had an issue with longitude and latitude until Herman explained it to me. Okay.
Yeah, but Herman doesn't explain it to me.
That every mill line.
You keep beating me about a flag that has nothing to do with lines of longitude and latitude.
Yeah.
They'll give you latitude and longitude, and they'll go look where that flag is and tell us what that flag means, what it represents.
First, I need to know what flag you're talking about because
Val.
Longitude and latitude, Val, there's no flags.
Let me ask you this. If we're looking at a map, right? If we're looking
He's
at
talking about charts.
No, I got that. But if we're looking at a map, right? And we see the flag, right? if I know what the flag means, why do I need to calculate the lines of longitude and latitude if I can see where the flag is on the map?
But some of the maps.
That's, I don't think you got a question like that.
No. Not that I remember. Even after going over the test, Val, a couple of times, I've never heard a question anything close like that.
Okay, because I got it again today, and I was like, "What the hell is it with this damn flag?" I do the longitude, I do the latitude, and there's no damn flag there.
Yeah, Paul.
Every time there's no flag.
Help us, Paul.
Well, what the flags are markers, but the other thing that it will be on your test is, I don't know if you can see this or not, but see these symbols here that look like little spaceships?
Antenna.
Those are antennas like radio towers and
things.
Yeah.
That's what I thought you were confusing the flags with.
No.
Let me see if I can find a flag.
Flags are usually denoting a place that you can listen for. It gives you a mark of where you're at.
I'm looking to see.
You're over worrying, Val. You're going to be looking for a flag, and you probably won't even get a question with one.
Or if you do, it's only one question. If you get it, you got a 50.
Yeah, I only got it.
It's on the final, Lars.
Well, but not the way she's expecting it.
I know.
So Val, I really wouldn't worry.
She's actually getting two things confused.
Yeah, I seriously wouldn't worry about it too much. You're going to know when they're referring to a flag and when they're not. The questions are very subject specific.
You might get a question or ask you, it'll give you the lines of longitude and the minutes.
Right.
And the direction.
Yep.
Right.
And it'll ask you what is at that spot.
Right.
But if I tell you that same information and then ask you what the flag means, that question didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Because all you gotta do is look at the flag. There's no need for you to calculate it.
Not true, because
all right.
Why I'm saying it, Herman, you have to listen to me too.
I'm listening to you.
Because there could be 4 or 5 flags on that one chart.
Okay, well, what kind of flag are you talking about?
Are you talking about the flag that means a waypoint beacon?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a waypoint beacon. That's for manned aircraft to know. In other words, like that's transmitting a beacon to their instrumentation.
It's to let someone know where they're at, right? For them to know where they're at.
For them to know where they're at, yes.
Okay. But the problem was I saw the little towers. I didn't see the little flag, and then they had this little flag within this little pond, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing in the water?
Probably a beacon.
I figured that.
That's what I put down for that one.
Yeah, I'd say you're definitely over worrying.
I hope so.
Okay, and what you got to be careful of, it may not be a flag. The flag will be by itself, but if it's a circle and it looks like a flag, that could be a runway. Runway going like this way with a short one on the top, that's a runway. That's not a flag.
You would know if she's in an airport. I hope.
Yeah, I'll know if I'm in an airport.
Yeah, but I'm talking about a smaller one. Here, I'll give you, for instance, here's one. I don't know if you guys can see it or not.
Even that.
But right there, see where my finger is?
Yeah.
Right.
It looks like a flag, but it's a small private airstrip.
Private airport, yeah. That was also given in symbols.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But just keep going over it. Val, you got one more day to cram.
I know. I just I went and took a nap.
Nothing wrong with that.
You went and took a nap.
What happened?
Instead of studying?
I'm tired.
I thought I'm tired. I'm gonna go take a nap. And I'll
You
let all
can't.
that information. I'll go ahead and I'll take the test again tonight and the ones tomorrow and see. And if I pass every single time, I won't worry.
Okay.
And you're actually lucky that you found a testing center that's still open,
How come?
because most of them are closed.
Really?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You got an email confirmation, right?
Yep.
Okay. Then you're lucky. And they said 90% of all the testing centers are closed, but there's some independent FAA registered testing centers that have choose not to. But the big ones that are all like a big company that has them all over, they have closed their testing centers.
Mm.
The drone is doing the same thing yours did.
Mm. Yep. Mine was open. I have to go a ways to get to it. They had a testing center like 3 miles from me, and they weren't accepting any reservations.
They're closed. They're probably that same company.
Yeah. Yeah, they sent it FAA support psionline.com.
Mm-hmm. Value, remember truth versus magnetic.
You know the difference between magnetic north and true north, right?
No.
Mm-hmm.
What?
No. I know north goes up and down, and they have this line that goes across that's magnetic. That's all I know.
That's because true north is not magnetic. It's off by about 3 degrees, isn't it, Herman?
Yeah. Well, what I'm asking you about truth versus magnetic is in your reports and stuff like that. You get weather report, you know, the meters. If you read it, it is true in true north.
True north. Yep.
Right.
If you hear it, it's magnetic.
Yep. In other words, you can't just stand out there and hear it. What he's talking about, if you're listening to
Or weather
Like
report.
over radio
Weather
from an
report.
airport. An
Oh,
airport,
okay.
the airport will give magnetic reading,
It's-
and written like meters. Those are written.
And those are true.
Those are read.
Yeah,
you read.
I heard them say
Based on
that, but
true
I just
north.
thought- they said, right, if you read it, it's true. If you hear it, it's not. I thought, what
Yep.
the hell? This is, I don't even
Because
think.
you can tune into a radio and listen to a report from your area for
Why would they do it different?
air traffic information,
Why would they do that different?
because most manned aircraft, especially smaller ones, are using magnetic. Not so much more anymore today, but they were all magnetic because they were based on magnetic compass readings.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
True.
yeah. Adrian, I know you're not going to actually see a flag when you're looking out the airplane window.
Yes.
It's just on the vector map.
Yep.
It's almost that
I was
time.
looking out the window for a big flag. It's gonna be
Well, pilots don't fly. Pilots don't fly with apps and you know and you know before you fly and stuff like that. They use the stuff that's in your study guide, the things that they show you
Yeah.
there. They use sectionals like what Paul is showing you. That's how they know where that is.
Well, Val, another option for you to consider is,
flag.
I know you're busy, but what you could do is you could go online, okay, and invite a whole bunch of people on to sit in, and then you could play the information from Remote Pilot 101 privately to
And
those,
Troy did that.
and then you could take and answer the question, and we could all sit back and say no and explain to you why.
You see what Adrian Lee put? You guys have to realize it's just a scale down of the real world.
Yep.
Yeah,
Excuse
I
me.
read that. Not really flags there.
Herman, it's almost time.
Yeah, I know.
Only 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's about that time, Val, for us to say, here we go with this guy.
That's the dinner bell.
This guy and his bell. We're gonna have to get his bell.
I
I
know.
know, right? You probably got it from Amazon. I could bet money on it. It's
No, he did.
Oh, sure. I don't. Hardly anything comes to his house unless it's on Amazon.
So
Mm,
yeah, everybody. Well, we gotta get a drop, right? Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, we gotta get a.
I'm back. Sorry, Robert. I sent you an invite, bro.
Rojo!
Eat and fly the first.
Oh, he
battery
got
on the
his.
Mavic.
He got his Mavic Air
Look at
2.
you. Look
Right.
at
Robert
you.
got his Mavic Air 2 today.
Robert. All right, have fun, man.
Paul didn't.
No, I didn't. I didn't.
Val's
Robert,
Val's just
you
gonna keep packing that salt in that
if
wound.
if you want to go online and talk about it, Robert, we can do that. Let me know.
In other words, Paul's willing to go live on the spot.
Paul's gonna go live. Okay.
Well, I just want to hear about it. I want to hear about it. I want to hear about it. I want to.
Hey, let's get this drop, guys. Lawrence, you ready?
Yeah, man.
You're too far from the mic. Wednesday night with those guys are sponsored by
Those guys.
There's a little
That's
delay
better.
in yourself over there, pal. I don't know what that was about. Like you wasn't too confident on yourself there. Well, anyway, guys on the panel,
Yeah,
I'd like to
John
thank you for
Zanardo, we
stopping
may,
in.
we may go with Robert. Okay. All
Better
right.
late than never. Val, you kind of froze
Yeah.
up there. Thanks for stopping in.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
No, you froze. You froze on my end. I just see you sitting there with the cup, holding the cup.
And
But yeah, thanks for stopping in and hanging out with us, Paul. Hey guys, everybody in the chat. Paul will be on Monday nights, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, I'll be on
TMS show.
the Herman and Lawrence special. Yep.
Yeah, okay. And then those guys will be back on Sunday night with those guys on Novice Quad's channel. So
Yep.
at
thanks
We
for stopping
appreciate
by and hanging out with us.
7.
We
Right
appreciate
after
you guys for coming. And yeah, Val's on all the time.
And
Just
mine
make
is
sure you
7.
Make sure you get her channel and 7 o'clock tonight or Tuesday.
No,
Tuesday to Sunday.
Sunday
You're
and
not on
Tuesday.
Tuesdays no more?
I am.
Yep. That's
Sunday
what I
and
was
Tuesday.
thinking, Robert. Zoom it. Yep.
Oh my God.
All right.
It's hard for me to.
So-
this. There he goes.
What happened, Val?
Nothing.
Yeah, they out there celebrating the people on the front line workers. But
Oh yeah, the workers. at
guys, thanks for
702.
stopping by and hanging out with us. And I'll see you next time on Phantom Flight 101 with those guys.